From Bloomberg World Headquarters in New York, your link to the world of business, economics, finance, and investment. This is Bloomberg Surveillance.
You're all worked up, but it turns out CEOs aren't the only ones headed to the Hill. Utility companies are congregating in Washington to urge lawmakers to come up with an agreement on the fiscal cliff. We'll speak to one chief financial officer who tells us why tax hikes on dividends could hurt shareholders. Next.
CEOs in Washington, C-class officers in Washington. As we head closer to the edge of the cliff, corporate America finally taking a stance. Joining us from Capitol Hill, Arthur Beattie of Southern Company, previously with Alabama Power. He is our chief financial officer. Mr. Beattie, good morning.
Good morning, Tom.
My experience with good CFOs is they know to 3 decimal points what anything's going to cost them on the income statement as it goes over to the balance sheet. What is the fiscal cliff going to cost Southern Company?
Well, it has effects, detrimental effects on our shareholders primarily, but it also has detrimental effects on the company itself. It will actually raise our cost of capital, which actually will raise our prices to our customers. And as utility companies serve their customers, the customers are the most important aspect of the circle of life that we propose. So it will have detrimental impacts on us. It's difficult to say until we know what the level of tax rates will be at the end.
Right, and yet we've got a deficit that we've got to fix. Is corporate America doing their fair share to fix the deficit?
Well, there's been a lot of discussions on both sides of that. We're encouraged by the fact that those discussions are ongoing. We think that from a dividend perspective, or taxes on dividend perspective, which is why we're here today in Washington, we need to not go over that fiscal cliff. We need to address taxes on dividends and capital gains, keep them at parity with each other so that we don't have any any more hurdles than we already do in capital formation, and also keeping prices to our customers at reasonable levels.
Mr. Beattie, this CFO event in D.C. is organized by Edison Electric Institute as part of their Defend My Dividend campaign. I was looking at the website. There's a countdown clock there. There's this sense of urgency that the group is really pushing. Where's the urgency among Washington lawmakers?
Well, the Washington lawmakers are certainly moving in that direction. How fast they get there is still in question, and we'll find out where that goes in due time. What we would like them to do is to avert the fiscal cliff. Do not allow these detrimental increases in dividend tax rates to go into effect.
Right.
And let's deal with all the tax matters at one time in a comprehensive format.
Instead of piecemeal. What do the senators and the members of the government not understand about the complexity of operating a business in these times of uncertainty?
Well, I think the biggest misconception from my perspective is the fact that taxes on dividends only apply to the rich. They simply will apply to everyone. As the value of our securities are reflected on the margin, the value of those securities may fall if dividend taxes are increased, and that will in fact impact all shareholders at all income levels.
Well, we know each and every day, sir, that we're seeing a chasm, a gap between Main Street and Wall Street. They're not going to buy a bunch of fat cats going to Washington, essentially talking their own book. Is the compromise a progressive dividend tax, where you start out with mom and pop at a 15% dividend tax level, and you ramp it up, and maybe you don't go to 43%, but let's say you ramp it up to Warren Buffett's 30% level?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of midpoints there that we could find consensus on. I certainly think that's possible, but it will have to be part of a comprehensive solution. And in order to get to where this country needs to go to solve its fiscal issues.
Very good. Thank you so much. Arthur Beattie, he is with Southern Company, their chief financial officer.
Well, we now know the priority.